He's heavy. Oh, we got a little bit of ice flow there. I think we can work with that. We're on the Shenandoah River today. So a lot of ice out in that river. One of the reasons I come to this spot is there's a lot of springs in the area, which keeps the, it actually makes it a good area for walleye and muskie. Not so much this time of year, but in the summer when the river can get good and hot. You can get over 80 degrees, and they really can't stand that. They really need to be near cooler water, and they do that by getting deep and getting right in front of a spring. And there's a lot of spring influenced creeks in this area that they, you know, in the summertime will put their nose right at the mouth of those spring influenced creeks coming in. The air temps aren't above freezing today. Actually, they're supposed to get right to 32, but it's certainly not above freezing now. So I use this to really permeate all my lines, and that helps them get through the guides a little bit easier with a little bit less freezing up. It's really a pain to have your line sticking to the guides and get all crunchy with ice. Got a new toy this morning. It's a Torqeedo Ultralight motor. This little sucker here is going to make the trip up to the dam a whole lot easier. I actually have it hooked up to the rudder cables. I took the rudder off this kayak, and it goes up to my foot controls here. Pretty cool. I can steer just by moving my feet back and forth, will make me turn left and right. I'm fishing below a dam. I'm not sure why the muskies like the areas below dams, but you know, pretty consistently on these mid-Atlantic rivers you find the muskies in greater concentrations below dams. Same thing with the walleye. I understand the spring thing, you know, the spring influence, that cooler water in the summertime, but the dams I don't understand. I just kind of accept it that look below a dam, that's a good area. There's a lot of safety features on the Torqeedo, first of which is the kill switch, which is here on the controller. There's like a little magnet where if that magnet is pulled off, it'll shut off. Something else that'll shut off is that will make it shut off is if the motor, I don't know what it has inside it, a gyroscope or something, but if it turns upside down, it'll cut off too. So you're not going to have a flipped kayak with with some blades with the prop swinging around. So this is my first time with it. We'll turn this on. I've already put it in the water. We'll see how this goes. Steer it a little bit to the left with my foot. That's working. Steer it a little bit to the right with my foot. Yep. Man, it's gonna take me a while to not want to steer with the paddle. I'm about 2 miles above where I put in, and I did have to hop out and I actually lifted the motor. Yeah, I can lift the motor from this seated position, but I hopped out just to get the kayak up through a riffle that I would have had to even if I was paddling. I'm pretty pleased how quick I got up here. Let's see how fast this sucker will go. I still have 81% battery power, and I've pretty much reached my destination, so I think it's time to crank it up and see what this will do. We're almost to the area where I've actually hooked 3 muskies in this area over the years. One was my first one ever, and I think he was 37 inches or thereabouts. The other two, I think I came out here a week after I caught that one. I hooked one that I never saw. Had him on maybe 20 seconds, never really got to see him, but knew it had to be a muskie for how it fought. I got my big twin spin ready. I think what I'm going to do is just under very slow power with the motor, just going to be straining some water as I head up through here. I backed up to this spring influence tributary here. We got water trickling out that I don't have a thermometer today, but I would guess that it's at least 10 degrees warmer than the main river, which is chunking up with ice. I bet we're, you know, somewhere in the low to mid 40s coming out of there. And in the summer, it's going to be similar temperature. It's going to be fairly cool because it comes out of the ground around 50 or 51, somewhere in there. By the time it reaches here, you know, maybe you have 60 couple degree water, whereas the rest of the river in July can get as high as you know, mid 80s, and certainly the muskie cannot survive in that mid 80 degree water for very long. So that's why they get on this bank downstream here. I will caution you. I know that there's a lot of muskie experts out there that, you know, would hear me say that and say, shh, no, don't tell people. And with good reason. You can really decimate a really good muskie fishery like what's here on the Shenandoah River by targeting them in the summer months. So once it gets hot, you ought to leave them alone. But this is just to say the kinds of pools that have these spring influence, you know, can support those muskies year round, and that's what allows you to fish for them spring, fall, and winter, like I'm doing today. Switched over to a suspending jerkbait that I'm just letting it sit a lot, kind of like I do when I bass fish. But I don't know, it's been slow, which is okay. I mean, it's kind of what you expect for winter, but I'm still enjoying being out here. I got two woodpeckers, two big, I think they're the pileated woodpeckers, up in this dead sycamore tree over here, having a territorial dispute. And over on this side of the river, in another tree, it's got to be an eagle's nest. It's big enough to be a tree fort for my two kids. I mean, I think it might even support my weight. It is enormous. A huge, huge nest. So I'm drifting and chucking the jerkbait, and drifting and chucking the jerkbait, looking down, and I see a big dark area. I mean, I don't know, size of my pickup truck's hood or something, and the whole thing's moving. But it's a massive pod of catfish, and this is just too much fun. Looks like too much fun to pass up, so I'm rigging up a little tube, and might catch some catfish. Slimed it up with some smelly jelly here so they get into it. I think I can pop a couple of these and get the skunk out of the boat. Oh, very cold little kitty here. Skunk's out of the boat though. There's gotta be, I don't know, 400 of these suckers down there. Most of them this size, a couple of them bigger. All right, we'll put this guy back. It's like I'm 17 years old again, can't get enough of the catfish. Now we got one that's substantial. Hello. Big kitty. He's heavy. Oh, hello, Mr. Big Head. Hello. It's January. I know. They even have cat eyes. Got my catfish fix. Now I can go back to muskie fishing. We'll go ahead and let this guy go. There we go. There's really probably 400 fish right there, all clustered in a spot that's as big as, you know, the hood of my truck. There he goes. I can see him sitting right there. Structurally, what we've got here is a really nice set of ledges where the tops of the ledges might come up to I don't know, 5 feet at the shallowest, and in between these trenches are, I don't know, I bet some of them hit 12 feet. Frequently you'll just cruise right over one and look down and see them, and they don't mind you being there. They don't spook. They don't need to. They're the top predator. No one's pushing them off their spot. I'm done for the day. Didn't get any muskies, but certainly had some fun with the catfish there. And I'm absolutely satisfied with the new motor. This is actually really fun once I'm used to it. It's really not about being lazy and not wanting to paddle as much as it is getting up there today. It really bought me a lot more time to fish. I got up there, I could have paddled up there, and I have paddled up there. And it, you know, it takes me about 2 hours. And this morning I got up there in about 40 minutes. So right there is about, you know, another hour and change worth of fishing. So the motor really translates to more time with your line in the water, and it's really fun. Whee!